that makes it sound like it was about Trey. And it wasn't.
Can you tell the jury what you told the judge when you pled guilty? What the facts were?
That I killed him for stealing from me and for keeping on stealing shit, you know. But that wasn't really the real. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't that. It just felt right at the time, but that wasn't why I did it. I mean, it's not like I wanted Trey to die, or if I could do it over, I'd kill him again. None of that. You know, his mother killed a couple of mine, and it just felt right. I mean, I know it sounds monstrous and all that shit, but it's not. If we was in the Old Testament, it'd be the same thing.
The jury had several questions for him.
The jury has some questions. I'll read the question to you if you'll let them have your answer. Do you love your son, Josh Young?
I mean, it's going to make me sound like a piece of shit. You got to think, though, I don't know him as much as I could love him.
Would you give your life for your son, Josh Young?
No.
Did you have Josh Young help you in any way with Trey's murder?
No. Nobody helped him.
I didn't hear the last part.
Nobody helped him.
Do you feel bad about anything you have done?
Yeah.
Did Josh Young meet you to help you kill Trey?
No.
At this point, it became pretty clear that there was no evidence against little Josh other than the statement Big Josh made when he was arrested in Alabama. The murder weapon and bag of bloody clothes that Cousin Cassie says she drove little Josh to dispose of were never found. He never confessed either, nor did he testify. And ultimately, the jury finds him not guilty on August 9th, 2013. He was acquitted and released from custody, while Big Josh continued to serve his life sentence. Hey lovelies, I'm so excited to tell you this episode is sponsored by the amazing Care of. Do something good for your health in 2019. Whether you're focused on glowing skin, boosting your energy levels, getting more sleep, or generally being healthy, build a vitamin routine that's made just for you and your health goals. Getting your vitamins should be easy and convenient, but it can be really hard to know what vitamins or supplements you should be taking. Care of's online quiz makes it easy to find out. The newest additions to my personal vitamin arsenal are the Glow Trio, which adds biotin and C. buckthorn to my beloved astaxanthin for a nutrient-dense combination with powerful antioxidant properties to help you look and feel your absolute best. And you all know I cannot live without my delicious quick stick powders. Whether it's gut health, energy, or sleep you're after, there's a quick stick for you. Just rip off the top and enjoy a few seconds of fizzy mouth pleasure wherever you are. Track your progress with the Care of app and earn rewards when you remember to take your vitamins. And if you fall behind, you can modify and pause your order there at any time. Take advantage of this month's special New Year offer. For 50% off your first month of personalized Care of vitamins, go to takecareof.com and enter promo code KillerKids50. That's KillerKids50 for half off your first month at takecareof.com. And this year, make health and wellness a top priority. Get ready to experience the Care of difference. This episode of Murderous Minors is also sponsored by EveryPlate, America's best value meal kit. Think of it this way. One meal is the same price as 1 cup of coffee. Experience full plates and fuller wallets and spend less time deciding what to cook and more time enjoying the food with family. EveryPlate dinners are the cheaper, healthier alternative to takeout or delivery. And while other dinner options cost around $10 a serving, EveryPlate is offering 5 chef-designed recipes each week from only $4.99 a serving. Plus, never buy more ingredients than you need because EveryPlate's recipes come with everything already pre-measured. So this week, my family and I have marveled in the exotic deliciousness that was the spicy honey butter chicken, as well as the muy caliente southwestern beef bowl. Recipes come together in about 30 minutes, which is much faster than a trip to a grocery store, saving me money and giving me just a bit of extra time relaxing with the kids at night. For 6 free meals across your first 3 weeks and free shipping on your first delivery, go to everyplate.com and enter promo code WARBABY6. That's 1/3 off each of your first 3 boxes. That's warbaby6 at everyplate.com and get meals you'll enjoy and your bank account will love delivered right to your door. Now let's get back to this story. Josh Young was placed on a 5-year supervised diversion program. He returned to his foster home just as they said he could, and the Stoneburners enrolled him in Fern Creek High School. It only took 3 weeks until he didn't come home from school on August 30th, 2013. On September 4th, he posted videos and status updates to Facebook showing him hanging out with friends and smoking. He even went so far as to Facebook chat with WDRB News in Louisville after news broke that the Stoneburners reported him missing. He refused to return home and said that he was fine, working construction odd jobs and hanging out with females. This all took place the day after what would have been Trey Zwicker's 17th birthday. In January of 2014, Little Josh's public defender, Elizabeth McMahon, made a request to have the acquitted teen's juvenile record expunged. This request was denied by early March. Meanwhile, out of nowhere on February 12th, 2014, Big Josh made another startling revelation, that he had lied.
My attorney, Mark Hall, knew what I was doing, knew that I was going to come in here and lie and take the blame for my son, and not only allowed me to do it, but coached me along the way. Even in here, he told me before we walked in here to keep my answers short. I committed murder several times.
It's kind of interesting that I asked you the question during the plea hearing that, was it your plan to, at a later date, try and set aside your guilty plea? Remember that?
Yes, sir. And that wasn't a lie. I've admitted I've lied throughout the whole thing. But I thought, even though at that moment Josh was still charged with this, that as soon as that went everywhere, that I said I did it, you accepted my guilty plea, I thought they would dismiss it. And then I would...
That was all part of your master plan.
Well, I had to do whatever I could, man, to save my son. He was 15 years old, facing life in prison, He's a kid. He was a kid.
This appeal was filed right after Little Josh, Cousin Cassie, and Terry Zwicker all appeared on the Dr. Phil show. Cousin Cassie failed her polygraph and Dr. Phil offered to give Little Josh one as well. However, he refused. Here's a mashup of the highlights. Circuit Court Judge Barry Willett denied the request in late June 2014. He pointed out that a letter dated May 9, 2013, from Big Josh's original defense attorney specifically stated he should not plead guilty and laid out the legal repercussions should he choose to do so. 8 months later, on April 18, 2014, Josh Young was arrested on felony domestic violence charges including assault and wanton endangerment. According to his girlfriend of 6 months, the pair had recently begun living together when they had a fight resulting in her physical assault. He also threatened to kill her grandmother and enter the police station with a gun to prompt an officer-involved shooting. The judge ordered he have no firearms and set his bail at $10,000. Earlier that very same day, Little Josh and an accomplice had gone to the home of a witness from his trial, chased him down, and assaulted him. This resulted in a second assault charge along with intimidating a witness. This witness was Cousin Cassie's boyfriend. He had testified at Little Josh's trial that he too saw the bat in bloody clothes and heard the same story he told Cassie that night. While in jail on these charges, Josh Young received an additional 60-day sentence for being in contempt of court. On May 1st, the judge in his assault case against his girlfriend ordered he have no contact with her. Over the next 30 days, he dialed her from jail 184 times before officials noticed his calls were supposed to be supervised. He was in jail on those charges until the early part of October 2014, but by October 19, 2014, he was arrested at a Louisville Walmart for shoplifting $14.71 worth of merchandise. Then, just 3 days later on October 22nd, he was arrested 2 times in the same day, this time for public intoxication. He was reportedly seen waving his arms around in traffic and trying to get into people's cars. He admitted to police that he had snorted crystal meth. Around this time, in mid-November 2014, a warrant for his arrest was issued after he was a no-show for his probation revocation hearing. Following his arrest subsequent to being placed in the diversion program, the state filed a motion to have him taken out of that program and a 2-year felony sentence put in its place. While in jail on those charges, Josh Young was being patted down on January 8, 2015, when contraband in the form of synthetic cannabis and tobacco were found in his underwear. He got another 120 days for promoting contraband and tampering with physical evidence. Then the following February 2016, Josh Young, now 20 years old, was arrested and charged with public intoxication and disorderly conduct, again walking into traffic. He was also accused of beating on apartment windows and refusing to leave. He was paranoid, walking backwards into traffic, and had to be restrained. In the patrol car, he attempted to kick out the rear window. And then in April 2016, he was pulled over in someone else's car, resulting in a year's sentence for receiving stolen property. By January of 2017, he was on the streets once again and arrested on charges of carrying a concealed weapon, possession of a firearm by a felon, trafficking in a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and failure to wear a seatbelt, which is what got this carload pulled over. Back in 2013, Little Josh's uncle Rodney gave WDRB a letter Little Josh had written him in August of 2011, just 3 months after Trey's murder. In it, he said, "I don't know where to start. I miss you and I didn't do this. They're setting me up. Dad, cousins Cassie and Josh, Mama Ruby. Dad's getting them all to go against me and they know the truth. I didn't do it." But now, in February of 2019, little Josh Young, now 23 years old and serving time in a federal penitentiary, has written a letter, a so-called confession letter, and sent it to, you guessed it, WDRB. In it, he claims he is laying out the once and final truth, that he killed Trey Zwicker in 2011 and that his father, Big Josh Gouker, had no involvement whatsoever. Here is that letter. Hello, my name is Josh Young and I am 22 years old and I'm ready to get the truth out there. I am nationally and even more locally known as the boy who got acquitted of killing his stepbrother. In May of 2011, Terrence Trey Zwicker was discovered behind Liberty High School in Louisville. He was beat to death with a Louisville slugger. I killed him. I was arrested June 23, 2011 and charged with the murder of Trey. I was 15 years old at the time of the murder and I was incarcerated 25 and a half months until the case was resolved. On August 9, 2013, I was acquitted, found not guilty, by a jury of my peers. But let me back up a little bit because I skipped a few important details. On May 10, 2011, I murdered Trey Zwicker. I murdered him alone. It was not planned, it was not a plot, and there was nobody else involved in any kind of way. I acted alone, and by my father's lies and him admitting to a murder he had no involvement in, I was spared a life sentence and granted freedom. Let me explain. As I previously mentioned, I was arrested on the 23rd of June, 2011, and my father was indicted the following year and charged with the murder also. The Commonwealth charged me as an adult, meaning that I would face a life sentence if convicted. As this was taking place, my father decided to lie and take the blame for my actions. By doing this, he hoped that I would be freed and sent home. So, on May 10th, 2013, at a routine pretrial conference, my father changed his plea to a guilty plea. He lied to the judge and told him that he killed Trey and that he acted alone. Note that this date was also exactly the 2-year anniversary of the murder. As you can imagine, this had a big impact on the court. The judge allowed my father to enter a plea of guilty, and the prosecution had no objections either, even though they knew he was innocent. But I'll get to that in a minute. My father was sentenced to life 2 months later on July 26, 2013, 3 days before I begun my trial. So, to state the obvious, my dad's hopes did not come true. He was hoping that the charges would be dismissed against me after his change of plea, but they weren't, and that might be the best thing that we could have hoped for. He then drew an arrow toward the term the prosecutor's greed.